A very good evening to all of you. Now, today we are going to talk about a very important topic in organic chemistry, which is, and it is an interesting topic as well. That is kinetic isotopic effect, or sometimes it is also called as deuterium kinetic isotopic effect, right? So, what exactly is this effect and why is it important on organic chemistry? Well, due to this effect, we can find out whether a reaction, like we can find out the mechanism of the reaction. And even today in research, it is popular to determine the reaction mechanism through this particular effect. So that if you look at the terms that are involved, it is kinetic. So it has something to do with the rate of the reaction and it has something to do with isotopic substitution. So in general, when we talk about deuterium kinetic isotopic effect, we are basically measuring the rate difference between a reaction where there's a hydrogen bond and where there's a deuterium bond. And if this value comes out to be greater than 1, then we can say that there is a deuterium kinetic isotopic effect involved. So how can I use this particular effect to find out the rate of the reaction? Let's look into that. Then in the end, we'll solve one question also that was asked in the CSI net examination, right? So let's say I have this acetone molecule, or in fact, even if I don't want to take acetone, I'll take this molecule. So let's say I have this molecule, and what I want to do is I'm adding bromine over here. Okay, so when I add bromine, what this product gives us is a phenesyl bromide. Okay, what is the structure of phenesyl bromide? Basically, you have a phenyl molecule, CO, CH2, and then Br. So this is a structure of phenesyl bromide. Now, if I want to find out the reaction, whether over here the rate of the reaction depends upon the CH bond or not, what I can do is I can replace all the three hydrogens over here by deuterium. Alright, I can replace all the three hydrogens over here by deuterium and I can find out the rate of the reaction. Now generally what is observed is a general principle that is observed, which is that the CH bond is basically easier to break as compared to a CD bond. Okay, so a CH bond is basically easier to break than a CD bond. What is the reason behind that? See, the bond strength is same. What about the formula for the frequency of the vibration of a bond? It is 1/2 pi under root K by mu. Okay, where mu is the reduced mass, K is basically the force constant. So the K value or the bond strength of a CH bond and CD bond is almost equal. But when you compare a CH bond and a CD bond, because the CD bond obviously has more reduced mass as compared to the CH bond, the CD bond vibrates slowly. Okay, if the CD bond vibrates slowly, that means that its 0 point energy is going to be lesser than a CH bond. Point energy of CD bond is going to be less. That the CD bond vibrates at a lower frequency as compared to a CH bond, and since it vibrates around, I think, 2200 centimeter inverse. Okay, whereas a CH bond vibrates around 3000 centimeter inverse. So technically it becomes easier to break, or because this is of lower energy, so this bond you can say is more stable. Okay, this bond has a lower 0 point energy, so it is more stable as compared to CH bond theoretically. So that is why it is difficult to break the CD bond in comparison to a CH bond. So if the rate determining step of a reaction involves the abstraction of CH bond, then if we replace it with deuterium, the rate of the reaction would slow down. Repeat again, if the rate determining step of a reaction is the abstraction of a CH bond, or basically breaking of a CH bond, and since CH bond is easier to break as compared to CD, so since it is easier to break, that means when I measure the rate of the reaction with hydrogen, it should be higher when compared to deuterium. So this is the basic idea of the kinetic isotopic effect. All right, so now if I want to determine the mechanism of this reaction, that let's say generally we don't need a base over here, but let's say I'll add a base, okay, to facilitate the reaction. So if I add a base, what will the base basically do? It will abstract this proton from any one proton from this three hydrogens that are present among the three CH bond. It will abstract one proton. Okay, and let me just quickly show it to you. What will happen is basically the base will abstract any of the proton from here, and it will basically lead to, so let's say the base comes over here and abstracts this proton. Okay, and then it leads to the formation of phenyl, the enolate, basically to the formation of enolate. This bond will migrate over here and will lead to the formation of enolate. And then since we have Br2 present in the solution, then this O- will migrate back. Okay. And then finally phenyl C double bond O, CH2, Br. This will be the final product. So you can see over here, this is actually the rate determining step. Now we don't know from the mechanism, like when we draw the mechanism theoretically, we cannot say that this is the rate determining step. We can only speculate. But in order to experimentally find out whether this is the rate determining step or not, what the scientists did was they replaced over here, let me just use some other pen, right? So what they did was they replaced this phenyl over the hydrogens over here with deuterium. Okay, 3 hydrogens were replaced by deuterium. Now what happened? Now the same thing, we'll add a base. The base will abstract the deuterium in this case now. And then again, if this is indeed the rate determining step, then the same thing will happen over here. The enolate will be generated. Okay, and then this O minus will migrate and it will attack the bromine. Okay, it will attack the bromine present, okay, and it will lead to the generation of PH COCH2Br. So if this is indeed the rate determining step, the Kh by Kd value should be greater than 1. And it was found out experimentally that the Kh by Kd value, the rate of reaction when hydrogen is there upon the rate of the reaction when deuterium is there, for this particular reaction was found out to be 7. The value came out to be roughly equal to 7. So this tells us that the rate determining step is indeed the abstraction of the proton. If that was not the case, then the value would have come out to be equal to 1. So this is the whole basis of the kinetic isotopic effect. Now there are some advanced topic as well over here. Now many of you might think, and in fact it is written in many books also, that the kinetic isotopic effect, okay, this is called the primary kinetic isotopic effect. Okay, this over here that we have discussed, this is called the primary kinetic isotopic effect. There is something also called the secondary kinetic isotopic effect, which I will discuss in the next video, because I want to keep this one simple so that those of you who don't have any idea about this particular concept can understand it, and then we'll move into the advanced principles as well. All right. And in fact, there are some kinetic isotopic effects where the Kh by Kd value is lesser than 1. That means the CD bond is present, that reaction is faster when compared to a CH bond. So we'll also understand why that happens. It basically happens in organometallic chemistry, not in organic chemistry in general. All right. Now let's look at one reaction. Okay. Also, if you're interested to join Unacademy, over there I'm teaching live the concepts of organic chemistry for CSIR December 2020. So in case you're interested, you can go through this following clip. Hey guys, so I'm a verified educator on Unacademy, and along with that I'm also available on the Unacademy Plus platform, where I'm taking live classes along with other educators. So in case you're interested in attending the live classes, you can subscribe to the Unacademy Plus platform using my referral code, that is SETHI, and that will give you 10% discount. All right. And in case you're not interested in attending the live classes, you can watch the free courses that are available on the Unacademy. For that, all you need to do is go to the Unacademy website or download the Unacademy Learning app and search my name over there, that is ACT. Once you do that, you will get the access to all the free courses that are available on the Unacademy platform. All right. Now let's begin with the video. Or one question. So this was the question that was asked in your CSIR NET December 2019 examination, and the question says that the reaction that will show a non-zero deuterium kinetic isotopic effect. So I'm not very sure what they mean by a non-zero deuterium kinetic isotopic effect, but what I can think they mean from this term is that basically whether the reaction will involve your deuterium kinetic isotopic effect or not. All right. So these are the three questions they have given to us. Now, if you look at the third question, okay, the third part, this over here is what this is basically following the E1CB mechanism. I hope you know about the basics. This one is following the E1CB mechanism, where you are adding the base. The base will abstract this proton. Okay, the base will abstract a proton from here and lead to generation of carbon ion. In the E1CB mechanism, it was found out that is actually the leaving group. Okay, the rate determining step is actually elimination of the leaving group. So what happens over here, this negative carbon ion is stabilized due to conjugation with this carbonyl group, and then it forms the enolate. Then once I'll just show it to you quickly. Here we have the enolate generated, and then we have some R group over here. Then this O minus will migrate back, and basically this bond will migrate over here and will lead to elimination of OH. Okay, so this is basically how the reaction proceeds. So over here, the elimination of the OH group is actually the rate determining step. If you have studied E1CB mechanism, you would know that. Since the proton abstraction is not the rate determining step, in fact, the leaving group is responsible for determining the rate of the reaction. So it does not depend upon the abstraction of the CH bond. So even if we replace over here with deuterium, it will not lead to any change in the rate of the reaction. So over here, the kinetic isotopic effect will not be involved. Now, similarly, if I go to option number B, so in option number B, what is this? This is E2 mechanism. I have a leaving group present over here. This is basically a E2 mechanism where the base will abstract the proton, okay, and simultaneously this group will leave. And since it is the E2 mechanism, the rate of the reaction depends upon both the abstraction of the CH bond and also it depends upon the elimination of the leaving group, okay, how good the leaving group is. So it depends upon both the factors. So due to this, what would happen is, since the CH bond abstraction is basically involved in determining the rate of the reaction, so if we replace it with deuterium, obviously the rate of the reaction would slow down because of the reasons that we just discussed in the previous slide. All right, so because of this will have some kind of deuterium kinetic isotopic effect involved over here. So B is absolutely correct. Now when I go to option number A, in option number A, what is this mechanism? Basically, you can see this is your E1 mechanism, okay, where what will happen, the acid will protonate this OH and will convert it into oxonium ion, which is a very good leaving group. And then once the protonation happens, the conjugate base present over there will abstract the proton from here, because over here the rate of the reaction for a E2 for a E1 reaction depends upon the elimination of the leaving group. I have studied about E1 reaction. So in the E1 reaction, the leaving group elimination is the rate determining step. That means the formation of the carbocation is the rate determining step. Okay, here the formation of the stabilized carbocation is the rate determining step, the abstraction of the proton. So according to this, option number A also is not correct, because over here later on the base will abstract basically the proton. Over here the conjugate base will abstract the proton, so it will lead to elimination and finally we'll get the alkene. So all of you know that the carbocation formation is the rate determining step in E1 reaction. So technically over here also the deuterium kinetic isotopic effect should not be involved. According to the answer key also, the correct answer is option number 2, which is only B. So anyway, I hope you like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really motivates me to make more such videos for all of you, right? So stay tuned for the second video or the second part of this kinetic isotopic effect. If you liked it, do let me know in the comment section as well, or if you have any kind of feedback. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.